Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a real exciting one. So Sierra Nevada basically has had like two out of the most hype releases of the year for me. That includes the retro box, retro box of beers like including Nooner, Flipside IPA, Ruthless Rye, blah blah. And this one's back. This is Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. So Oktoberfest is a collaboration that they used to do. I honestly believe I haven't had it since I moved down here, so we're going on 4 years. So it's probably been 4 or 5 years since they've actually done this collab. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's generally a collaboration between, well, always a collaboration between Sierra Nevada and a German brewery. This time they have, what's the brewery? Kehrweide. Kehrweide, they're out of Hamburg, so collaboration with a German brewery, making a fest beer. So mostly Americans associate Oktoberfest beer with Märzen, which is a much darker style. It's generally going to be 6%. Well, both styles are going to be, fest beer and Märzen are going to be 6% lagers. The Märzen is going to be this kind of like, generally like the lightest color that comes is like a deep gold to really like a light amber and then on to like brownish copper, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, this is a pale beer, right? I believe the malts in here like two-row and like I think Breeze Pilsner malt or something. Yeah, anyway, look, this is a pretty pale beer, right? Like if you show this to most people, they wouldn't think Oktoberfest, but obviously is not Helles. It definitely has a solid medium to deep gold color, a little bit of like burnished copper or burnished like golden thing, a little bit lightly bronze, right? But a little bit orangey, but definitely not as pale as a Helles or Pilsner, but definitely not even close to what a Märzen can be. A lot paler than that. So let's look into a wonderful fluffy white head being created, slightly off-white, like very, 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 very light hint of tan in there. Very inviting, yeah. On the first aromatic is that you get hoppiness. Obviously, Sierra Nevada, they're going to hop this a little bit more aggressively, maybe, traditional German examples. It has a really nice kind of fresh floral characteristic, a little bit of dried herbs, some a little bit of like thyme is in there as well. And then also this just like a green, fresh grassiness that's quite inviting and fresh. A little bit of like a floral element in here as well. You get a little bit of this kind of floral honeyed characteristic, honeyed bread as well. So a nice combination of the malts and then a little bit of the sort of the sweetness of some of those hoppy flavors also come in along with the sweetness of the malt. So it's like a really nice combination. Yeah, it's really fresh and inviting. Fresh baked bread, a little bit of brioches in there, a little bit of what do you call it? Okay, we'll get you in a second. Okay. Cheers. So on the palate, the beer has a really wonderful like hoppiness that hits up front, rides throughout the palate. It has this kind of like again, this dried herbal character along with a fresh cut grassiness, so it's both base tones and higher flavor tones. There's a little bit of this honey breadiness as well that comes in. The beer has a really nice, what do you want to call it, drinkability to it at 6%, which is always obviously the goal. With Märzen, you're going to rely a little bit on a fat maltiness and that kind of complexity to play with that 6%. Here, I think it's very hard actually. I argue anything you're shooting above 5.55 up to 6% pale lager is going to be very hard to build. I find that even just like going from 4.5 to 6%, you know, we're talking from Helles and Pilsner to 6%, you know, we're talking about like Festbier, Hellesbock, and Exploit beer, you know, German Exploit Helles. It's crazy that you know you go just about an ABV and a half above, and you just get so much more character to it. Like the lager fermentation, especially the pale beer, there's nothing to hide behind. When you taste the fatness, you know, it's just something about the beer. It just tastes a little bit bigger. For me, I don't think this necessarily tastes all the way like hot. Like, you know, again, it's the beer just comes off a lot hotter when you get to 6%. For me, this tastes a little bit like 5.5. Follows with the palate, a really nice kind of balance with that honeyed breadiness, fresh floral honey coming in, a little bit of a toasted breadiness coming in. But again, really not relying too much on thick malt character. It really has a nice balance that with the hoppiness, I find that it actually is a really great interpretation by Sierra Nevada. Granted, I don't know what fresh Festbier tastes like, you know, out of Germany, because it ships all the way from Germany to the U.S. I don't know what that hoppiness sort of is mimicked here. Here, the balance is just absolutely fantastic. It's just a noticeable fresh hoppiness. Helps bitterness on the back end, helps balance out the beer. Yeah, just a nice, you know, it goes back and forth between the malt flavor and And the fresh hoppiness, again, is just a little bit more forward hoppy for, I guess, the American palate. And I tend to really enjoy that. And this just makes a really delicious world-class collaboration. I mean, just as good as what I remember. I think some of those collabs are really, really good. But this one gets a solid 96 plus. 96 plus. You guys post the comments below. It's been years and years, right, since these collaborations. So if your memory serves, I mean, I guess I have the old videos to post, so I can link you guys to some of the older collaborations and my thoughts on those, and probably nice compare and contrast. But great, again, just delicious balance between the malt and hops for a beer that's a 6% pale lager. Highly recommended. And yeah, don't even do the singles like I do. I did a 6-pack on this. Don't regret it at all. This is definitely a 6-pack beer because, again, it'll be gone sooner than later. And actually, funny enough, this was canned about 6 weeks ago. So this was actually canned in the beginning of July. So I don't know if they're going to do a separate batch of this beer. I hope they do, to keep it fresh and lively. Otherwise, this beer is going to get a little bit more tired by the time you do Oktoberfest by the end of October, the end of September and the beginning of October. Now you're talking about a beer that's solidly 2 months old. Sorry, 3 months old. Solidly 3 months old, which probably fine for a lager, but with something with this lively bounce of hoppiness, I wouldn't want that deteriorated. So get it fresh, keep it cold, and hopefully they make more batches. Until next time, cheers. 97 or 96 plus. Later.